Hi everyone, in this video we're going to take a deep dive into Apple's first quarter 2023 earnings call on February 2nd to try and figure out what's going on with Apple stock. So let's get right into it, starting with CEO Tim Cook, who says, as a result of a challenging macro environment, our revenue was down 5% year over year. Three factors that impacted our revenue performance during the quarter. The first was foreign exchange headwinds, which had a nearly 800 basis point impact. In other words, 8% revenue would have been positive if it wasn't for the changes in foreign exchange. The second factor, which we described in a November 6 update, was COVID related challenges, which significantly impacted the supply of the higher end iPhones, 14 Pro and Pro Max. Because of these constraints, we had significantly less phones supplied than we planned, causing ship times to extend far beyond what we had anticipated. So it wasn't that customer demand wasn't there, it was that there was headwinds in terms of production, and that caused the ship times to significantly be delayed and pushed out of the current quarter into the next quarter. And thankfully, the CEO says production is now back where we want it to be. The third factor was challenging macroeconomic environment, from inflation to the war in Eastern Europe to the enduring impacts of the pandemic. All of these are causing consumer behavior to change. Consumer budgets are being pinched by inflation if they're having to pay higher prices for rent, higher prices for gas and to heat their home, higher prices for food. That's going to leave less money for discretionary purchases like an Apple Watch or AirPods or an iPhone or maybe incremental services in the App Store. And so that's hurting sales as well. And this is probably going to persist for several quarters more. Inflation is coming down, however, it remains higher than where it was last year and the year before. It's unlikely to revert back to those levels. Uh, the CEO goes on to talk about product segments, starting with the iPhone. Revenue came in at 65.8 billion for the quarter, down 8% year over year. However, if you eliminate foreign exchange on a constant currency basis, iPhone revenue was roughly flat. Customers continue to rave about the astounding camera capabilities and unprecedented battery life and the groundbreaking suite of health and safety features. You really have to admire Tim Cook's marketing ability here, turning what is in essence just incremental improvements in the camera and a battery life using words like astounding camera capabilities, unprecedented battery life, and groundbreaking suite. All of these to highlight really just incremental improvements in the product from year to year. Really selling the upgrades here. Moving on, CEO says just last month we introduced the new MacBook Pro models powered by our latest developments in the Apple Silicon M2 Pro and M2 Max. So yeah, the MacBook Pro has been gaining in terms of popularity. Customers really like these upgrades coming into the MacBooks. Um, and it's really these two products, and along with the iPad, which we'll touch on. This is what gets people into the Apple ecosystem, right? You need an iPhone in order to buy Apple services, most likely, right? You're probably not gonna buy, you're probably not gonna subscribe to Apple Music if you don't have an iPhone. You're probably not gonna buy AirPods if you don't have an iPhone. You're probably not gonna buy an Apple Watch if you don't have an iPhone. So the iPhone really is that product that really gets people into the Apple ecosystem. And surprisingly, Apple's able to sell the iPhone at solid gross profit margins. And then once customers come in, Apple earns even more profit margins on those incremental sales that customers conduct while they're in Apple's ecosystem. Other companies you could think of, I'll give you one example like Roku. They generate massive losses in terms of gross margins to get people into their ecosystem, right? Roku sells its players, its units at a loss just to get you into the ecosystem so that then it can earn profits from you when you watch content on its platform, right? Apple earns significant gross profit margins on sales of its iPhone, which gets you into its ecosystem, which then they earn very healthy profit margins on your incremental purchases from then on. This is what makes Apple an incredible business. This is what makes Apple one of the best businesses in existence today, is the fact that it delivers these innovative hardwares products, and it's able to sell them to consumers at premium prices, right? Apple products are the premium products in the market. Each product category, it's priced higher than its competitors in the market, and they're able to get consumers to pay those premium prices for its products. And so I'll end the video right there. That's all I've got. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time in another installment of my earnings call deep dive. I hope this gave you some insight into what's going on with Apple stock. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.